What's happening, fellas? Crazy Brit here, and we're back with some more action from the MRC boys. This is the GTTCC Round 4, Season 22, and it's Race 2 with the Elite boys. So, without further ado, let's get the grid walk done, and then we'll get the action underway. So, reverse grid rows from the race 1. So, in first is Surf Rev in the Citroen, in second is Scott in the Citroen. Busby Boy lines up in third in the Genesis. Then we have Benji in the Mazda Atenza in fourth, the only one on the grid. Shortsky lines up in fifth with the Citroen. Then we have Gary in the Genesis in sixth. In seventh is Fast JMS in the Honda. Eighth, Infinity James in the Citroen. Ninth is Scotty Boy in the Citroen. Bogger in another Citroen in 10th. And finally, Dimpy won the last race. He lines up in 11th in the Honda. So, without further ado, let's get the lights on the way. Lights out, and away we go then. So, Surfer gets a lovely start there, pulls straight over to the right side to cover off Scott as we head down to the first corner. See Scott trying to line himself up as we go for that first corner, then a little bit of bump there from Shortsky, but it looks like everyone got away cleanly. Let's check at the back. Dimpy's there in 11th, right behind Bogger and Scotty. We'll just check at the back, see that everyone gets through the S's cleanly. You can see Fast JMS being bumped and barged between Scotty and Bogger there. And looks like Scotty Boy's gone off the track. Yep, went onto the grass there. Just couldn't get the turning on that wide line. But everyone's around cleanly then through the first sector. Now we come into the two Degners, Surfer Rev. Now he's going to go under the bridge, under the crossover. Still leading the way as we go into the hairpin. Lovely stuff. Already opened the gap from Scott there in the second. A little bit of a cutting grass excursion there for Scott on the exit. There's Benji in third. In the Atenza, lovely job from him. Fourth is Shortsky. Gained a couple of positions after the first turn. There's Busby Boy in fifth, followed by James in sixth. Then we have Bogger in seventh. Now coming to Spoon Curve. There's Gary in 8th position behind him, followed by Dimpy up into 9th. There's JMS in 10th and Scotty Boy in 11th. So we head down to the fastest corner on this circuit. Now we head down to the Casio Triangle chicane. Got to be careful not to run too wide as we just look at Surfer coming through the track. And that's like one complete. Already opened the gap to Scott in second. We'll check now through the grid. Oh, we've got action. Someone spinning around. It's Scotty Boy. Let's see what happened there. So, coming through the chicane here. Let's go on board with him actually, because we can't really. Oh yeah, there is cameras. Nope, we can't see what happened. So let's go back, have another little look. So you can see people breaking into chicane. Little bottleneck there as everyone slows down for the corner. Scotty Boy gets a run off the corner. Just tries an overtake on the right hand side. Not going to happen. That's going to always close the door. And yeah, sent off into the grass. But we resume racing. Scotty Boy's got some work to do now, so head back up to the top. Surfer leading the way in first still, coming around the first turn. Scott there in second, trying to close that gap up to him. Shortsky's up into third now, getting around Benji, who's now down to fourth. Infinity James up into fifth, followed by Bogger in sixth. Gary's there in seventh, with Dimpy right behind him in 8th position. We'll see if Gary can defend from the charging Dimpy. Busby in 9th. Then we have JMS in 10th on his own, and Scotty Boy there trying to catch back up to the pack after the incident at the Casio Triangle. As now just come through the Degners, and we're leading up to the hairpin now. So coming through the right-hander here and onto spoon curve for Surfer. Lovely gap he has now, a lot of clean air. Big gap to second, from second all the way to 10th position, 9th position is where it's happening. As we got Dimpy going wide. Oh, he's over the bumps on the exit there. As they head down the back straight, down to 130. Very wild ride for him there. He's got hazards on for Busby Boy. Not sure why he's got the hazards on. Don't know whether he's on auto drive or just clicks the button. They go too wide through the Casio triangle there. But we'll go back up the field. So Dimpy's there in 8th. James is going to come under fire from him soon as we head down the straight, down to the first turn, as it's called the first corner. Got to be careful with the braking here. A little bit of braking, then a little bit more braking. You don't want to brake too harsh into that corner. It's a very fast corner. But Benji's coming under fire now. You can see he's got 4 cars right behind him, all going to be wanting that 5th position from him. As we head through the snake, then up into the anti-bank curve, and through Dunlop we go. You see Gary's there now. Gary's going to attempt to overtake, doesn't quite get it as we go for the Degners. Now through the second Degner, Benji managed to hold on to that 5th position as James gets a little bit sideways there. Nice little save from James there. Just a kick out from the back end. I'll just go through the hairpin for the 3rd time of asking. You see Benji there in the 5th. Still holding these guys off. As we now head down to the spoon curve. I think Fast JMS has caught some ground up on these guys as well. You can see him just on the back of these guys. Just tailing 9th place. Oh, Benji goes wide. That's going to give Gary the place then. Possibly going to cost him a couple more positions maybe as well. If they're brave coming down to the 130R. So doesn't lose another position. James thinks better of it. Gary's there, but is anyone going to try and overtake into the Casio triangle? Yep, James is there. He's made the pass already. Benji losing places then. You see Dimpy on the outside now, trying to get the overrun down the straight. Slips in back behind him to get the slipstream down the straight, down to the 1st corner. He's on the inside now. Can he get this pass done as Benji's on the outside? Oh, Benji runs wide. Careful on that green stuff, it's very slippy. He's going to lose a ton of positions all the way down to 10th now, unfortunately for Benji. We check back on Scotty, he's trying to catch up as well. So Benji down to 10th then after losing those positions. Very unfortunate, but we'll see if we can refocus and try and get a few of these positions back. So we'll go up to 1st then. Surfer now absolutely sprinting away from the rest of the grid. 2nd is Scott, trying to do anything he can to catch him as we come up to the hairpin. We go through the hairpin there. Very nice. Exit from there, a little tough should we gas. There's Boggett in 3rd. He's trying to get up to the front as well, up to the top 2. Sharkskin's there in 4th. Then we got Gary now. He's going to try and defend from James in 6th. Busby Boy's there in 7th. Dimpy's had an issue as well. Let's see what happens. See what happened to him. We'll have to go back a few. So coming up through the snake in 7th, just in front of Busby Boy. So to the top of the snake through the anti-bank curve. Then we're going to go through Dunlop as we head. Oh, he just gets right off the Dunlop corner, gets onto the grass. Does he have another little issue? I think that might have been it as he comes through the Degners. Through the second one, does he go wide because of the dirty tyres? No, he doesn't. So just an issue there then. Unfortunately for him, that's dropped him down to 10th. Let's just watch him go through the hairpin. Does he get the exit nailed? Yes, he does. So Dimpy then from 11th up to about 8th or 7th, back down to the 10th. Unfortunate for him. There's Scotty Boy just coming through the right-hander after the hairpin. We'll go back up to the front then with Surfer Ev still leading the way by miles over the rest of the field. There's second Scott. That gap to Bogger is slightly coming down now. Same as short ski as we come through the 130R. Front tyres are starting to wear now. Gary there still defending from James in 5th. Is James going to attempt to overtake as we come through the Casio triangle? Let's see what happens here. Come through. You've got to be careful as well not to take too much of the curb. You don't get any penalties through there, which will cost you on the next lap. Oh, start lap 5. James all over the back of that Genesis. He's going to take the inside line. Can he get him for the first turn? Gets the move done before the corner. Lovely stuff from James there. James up into 5th then. Now he's got a little bit of work to do to catch Shortsky in front, but with Shortsky's tyres wearing more than his, should be able to get him before the end of the race, I would think. So there, Gary then, as we come through the snake, is in 6th. He's got his fellow Genesis driver behind him in 7th. Then we got Fast JMS Honda in 8th, coming through as well. Then we got Benji and Dimpy in 9th and 10th. So Dimpy's caught Benji. No idea whether Benji had another little issue or whether Dimpy just faster overall in that Honda. We now come under the crossover through the bridge there. Now up to the hairpin. And then Dimpy goes for a dive then in the hairpin. A lovely bit of move. Oh, he gets the exit wrong. Gets on the grass. Goes for more grass cutting exercises. So Benji holds on to that 9th position then. Dimpy's going to have to refocus. Reevaluate. And hopefully he can get this overtake done for him. Oh, Benji goes wide. That's going to give him all the chance he needs to catch back up. Unfortunate for Benji, he's always wide again. He's having a torrid time at the minute around Suzuka. Unfortunately, Benji's a really good racer, really nice guy as well. We'll have to see how the rest of the race goes for him. But you can hear the engine of Scotty Boy catching up slowly but surely there in the Citroen. So we'll see what happens with him catching up the back of the field. Over here, just tyre squeals. No, everything's fine. So back up to the front then. Surfer now leading by a good couple of seconds there as we come through the snake. There's Scott in 2nd. He's trying to catch him up still. Bogger's got half a second penalty in 3rd. Now we've got Shortsky and then James right behind him in 5th. So tyre wear, you see Shortsky's got a little bit more wear on the front right there, which is only going to get worse as we go through the race. James has got a lot more tyre left on the front right, so we'll see how that has implications as we go through the race. But James has got Gary right behind him in 6th. There's JMS as well catching up now. He's up into 7th now. Busby Boy in 8th. Coming now under the bridge up to the hairpin. He's turned off those hazards as well, so it must have just hit the button. Lovely liveries by these guys. Keep commenting on their liveries, but they have done a nice job with the liveries this season. Hopefully Big Kev and MacGyver will be racing next race as well, next round. Obviously sometimes real life does get in the way and we can't always make all the races, but that's just the way things go, especially with online sim racing. Back to Dimpy then in 9th, so he's got past Scotty Boy and Benji. Benji must have had another off somewhere. More troubles for the Atenza driver, but Dimpy's down his own in 9th as he's just getting ready to go through the 130 arc down towards the Casio Triangle. So Scotty Boy now up into 10th and Benji down in 11th there. Back up to the front, we got Surfer Rev in 1st. Still leading the way. Great job from the Citroen driver, and I can see there lovely Treebo Mints stickers on the car there. I do appreciate that, Surfer. Very nice job. Number 33. And the crazy bit logo on there as well. Very nicely done, sir. So as he comes up through Dunlop then, let's have a look at him as he goes through. Fastest man on the track at the minute is Scotty Boy with a 2:10.8 fastest lap. Just for reference, fastest lap for Surfer is a 2:10.9. His last lap was a 2:11.6. So as he comes through the hairpin, we'll check out the rest of the grid. See there, Scott in 2nd, sorry. Coming through for Team Gulf and Cancer Research. There's Bogger coming through for Team LG and Help the Heroes. I will add, just as the guys come through, that we are running fundraising for the charities with the teams as well. So if you are part of the MRC, or even if you're just not part of the MRC and you want to donate to these charities, then feel free. It would be greatly appreciated. Short ski there in 4th, now coming through the exit spoon curve down the back straight. Doing a great job for him, but you can see those soft tyres are starting to cry. James there in 5th, still got Gary right behind him. Lovely colour flip livery from James as well. He's part of Team LG and Help the Heroes as well. So LG and Help the Heroes are doing well in this race so far, with 3rd and 5th at the minute. Let's come through the Casio Triangle, about to start lap 8. Already over halfway in the race at the minute. And from the weather reports, we do have a small chance of rain towards the end of the race, probably in the last 10 minutes. So these guys have got to watch out. I mean, Suzuka is kind of tricky, but you can see it's starting to get cloudier now. As you can see, Gary attempt getting closer to the car in front. As we now head up the hill through the snake. A little bit of ground there lost to James for Gary, but he's got Flash JMS right behind him, so he's got to be on it. He's racing for Team Samsung and Cancer Macmillan support, and he runs wide. Oh, very wide from Gary there. Unfortunate. 4-wheel drivetrain helping him, but runs wide into the grass. Does some grass cutting for the track marshals there. Unfortunate, lost the position to Flash JMS. Looks like he was going to try and mount a charge onto James, but it's very tricky when the tyres start wearing. You get wide on that turn. You see it through the hairpin. There's Dimpy right behind. Very nice camera angle there. He's got Busby Boy right behind him now. There's Dimpy trying to catch up. Benji back past Scotty Boy in 10th then. So these two battling out for last position on the grid. Back up to the front of the grid then. Surfer just coming through the Casio triangle. Very sterling job at the minute, but he's got over 10 minutes to go in the race, so it's not over and done yet. So I'll see if he can continue on this charge, but very consistent lap times from Surfer there. Scott now is coming under fire from Bogger right behind him. This is going to get spicy. Citroen on Citroen. Bogger looks like he's going to go for the inside line. Can he get stopped in time without contact? Very nicely done, sir. Good job. Overtake from Bogger there. So let's look at the tyres. Yeah, so you can see Scott's got slightly more worn tyres than Bogger. But yeah, just dived it in on the inside. Great car control. No contact from either of them. That's clean racing. That's what we like. And great job overall. So down to fourth then. There's Shortsky. And we got James in fifth at the minute. Oh, a little bit of wide exit there through Dunlop. Going to give the advantage to Fast JMS there as he gets the position done into the Degner. The second Degner go through under the bridge. So James starting to struggle on those soft tyres. You can see the difference between James and Fast JMS. JMS has got considerably better tyres than James there. So the tyre wear coming into play now for these guys. Back we go down to 7th with Gary holding off Busby Boy for the minute. And there's Dimpy in 9th. Must have had an incident there because he was catching up to Busby Boy in 8th. But now there's a very big gap there. So Scotty Boy there in 10th. Now back into 10th with Benji right behind him in 11th. We go back up to the top then. Surfer coming through the Casio triangle, about to start another lap. And clouds are starting to seep into the track now. It's another 2:11. Lovely consistent times, keeping them up. That's what's going to win the race overall. Consistency is key, as I say. 33 looking really good around here. He'd be glad as well, especially after the race that he had in around Dragon Trail Gardens. Obviously Mercedes not liking the wet around that track. So we'll see how this one plays out. But he's set a purple set time, almost a tenth faster. So we'll see how that goes through as he goes through the lap. Oh, there's the windscreen wiper, there's the rain. But is it going to be strong enough to warrant wet tyres? We'll have to see, but you can see the water meter starting to creep up now. So a little bit of a shower then. These guys got to be mindful now of that rain. Bogger there in second, now starting to make a gap to Scott in third. Shortsky, half-second penalty, he's in fourth still. Shouldn't lose a position yet. Fast JMS there in fifth. Starting to create a gap now to James in sixth. There's Gary right behind him in seventh, followed by Busby Boy. Scotty Boy now into ninth. Dimpy's had an incident somewhere. Oh no, he's gone to wet tyres. So Dimpy's gambled. We'll have to see if this gamble pays off, but great job for him so far. If it does, we'll have to see how this one plays out for him. Is this a genius move, or did he jump too quick? We'll have to see. But back up to the front then, we'll see if anyone else decides to pit for wet tyres. Surfer comes through the Casio triangle now. This could be crunch time for him. Does he gamble or not? Does he play it safe? He's going to play it safe and go for another lap. It might be that the rain on the radar has started to fizzle out, or it's not enough for the intermediate tyres. So we'll have to see. But that water meter is starting to creep up more, so that gamble from Dimpy. As you see, Shortsky now pitting for wet tyres. So Bogger's gone through, Scott's gone through. That's going to put JMS up into 4th. James is going to come up to 5th. Then we've got Gary now in 6th. Busby in 7th. There's Shortsky in the pits. Still not there yet. Scotty Boy, what's he going to do? He's going to pull into the pits as well. Benji coming through the triangle. Is he going to pull in the pits? He's not. He's going to go for another lap. So Benji decided to go for one more lap in 10th. Now up into 9th. There's Dimpy. So it has breached the first line. So this gamble for Dimpy probably was the right decision then. Especially if the rain continues. So now we're going to have to keep an eye on the dry tyre runners. Keep an eye on the track map. See if anyone does spin around. But these guys have got to make sure they keep the gas pedal lightly, feather the throttle, don't brake too hard. You don't want to slip out, especially going out on this green AstroTurf as well, because that will be really wet now. As you can see, Gingerly Surfer comes through the spoon curve. Oh, a little bit of a slide for him there. Oh, we've got accidents here. We've got major accidents for 2nd and 3rd. We'll see what happens with these guys. Spoon curve does get very wet when the rain starts to come. So, yep, just went off track. Didn't brake in the right position. Didn't anticipate the wetness. And they're both in, well, Bogger's in the wall. And there's Scott in the gravel. But they hold on to 2nd and 3rd, or possibly. No, there's Bogger going round again. He's got front end damage. That's not going to be good for him. Major accident then for the guy that was in 2nd. Very unfortunate. Now he's down to 7th. Let's see where Dimpy is. Dimpy's in 11th. He's starting to catch Scotty Boy in 10th. So these guys will battle now. Surfer deciding to go for another lap then, weirdly. He's figuring there's only a couple of minutes left. But I feel like that might be a mistake, maybe. It depends how when it is. There's Scott. He's come through for another lap though, even though he went off track. We'll have to see what happens with him. James is going to come through. He's going through for another lap in 3rd. Maybe the rain stopped on the screens. You can't see the windscreen wipers going in more, so that's probably why. So he's going to come through in 4th. Great result if he can stay there. There's Boggett in 5th after losing multiple positions. Unfortunate mistake from him. Gary there in 6th. Now coming through the first turn. Can he get any more positions in the Genesis? JMS in 7th. He was running well. He must have had a little off somewhere with the rain slashing down. Shortsky there in 8th on the intermediates. He's going to regret that decision if it doesn't turn wet again. Same with Scotty and Dimpy, but there's Benji. Now the wet starting to go, so he's going to start getting positions on these intermediate boys. Back up to the front then. Surfer is going through the hairpin. So with the rain now stopped, he's probably glad that he didn't gamble and pit. Still leading the way, got a really big gap to 2nd now. There's Scott in 2nd. We'll just watch the guys go through the spoon curve. I know that's a little bit more wet than the other corners on track. Oh, we've got more chaos. So let's see what happens here. We've got James. We'll go on board here so we can see what happens. So we come to the wet section here. Brakes for the hairpin. Oh, just lights the back end up on the exit there. Very unfortunate for James. Now he's going to have to wait till Gary comes through so it doesn't cause a collision. Can he get going before JMS? So unfortunate for James, but now he's now down to 5th with front end damage. And that's the gamble that we pay. If you stay on slick tyres, you're gonna slip and slide. JMS, oh JMS! Fast JMS there in the background. I don't know what quite happened there. Let's just have another little look at that. as they come through. So we'll go on board. You see Shortsky right behind him. Does he get on the grass here? No, just gets on the wet stuff. Inches away from collecting James there. James is a very lucky boy with that incident there. That could have been disastrous for the two drivers, but it's disastrous just for Fast JMS. Unfortunate for him there, was out on the wet stuff. It was a very opportunistic move if it was going to work. Brave of him for to try it, but didn't work out in the end. Unfortunate for him. So Scotty Boy in 9th, Benji's right behind him, brings out on the wet stuff. Calm down, Benji. You don't want to be out there. There's Dimpy in 11th. The intermediate tyres start to suffer now. They will start increasing their temperature and wearing exponentially, but there's Surfer in the lead. If nothing goes wrong now for him, he surely will win this race. He has been looking strong around here all week in the practice and test races. And there's Scott in 2nd. Should be a good result for him if he can keep it on track from here on out. Should be able to with the rain now going. The track should start drying as well for the guys. There's Busby into 3rd. So this will be a great result for him if he can get this podium. And Gary in 4th as well. That's going to be a good result for the Genesis driver. James, unfortunate for him, is looking strong in the last half of the race, but gets out on to the hairpin and just loses the back end. Unfortunate for James there, but there's Boggart right behind as well. Cost the mistake that he had. See if he can get any more positions from here on out. Shortsky there in 7th, still on those intermediates. There's JMS in 8th. Benji 9th now has got past the two intermediate runners at the back of the pack. For Scotty Boy and Dimpy. Going to be hoping it starts to rain again soon before the end of the race, but with only less than 2 minutes, it's probably not going to do them any good anyway, unless it absolutely lashes it down on this final lap. So Surfer is going to come through the final corner and start the final lap of the race in 1st. There's 2nd, Scotty, there he is, coming through. He's going to start another lap as well. Busby Boy in 3rd in the Genesis. Gary in 4th. Then we have Infinity James somewhere, there he is. Cameras, please keep up. So he's going to start the final lap as well, followed by Boggart in 6th. Shortsky there in 7th. And then we've got Fast JMS. He's going to come through the Casio Triangle around last corner and start another lap in 8th position. Scotty Boy there coming now. He's got Dimpy right behind him as we come through the Casio Triangle. Where is Benji? Benji's had another incident somewhere. This is going to be tight between these. I think Benji's not going to make another lap, unfortunately, so he must have gone off wide again somewhere or hit a wet patch. So yeah, half a second penalty there as well. Unfortunate for Benji there. He's going to finish in 11th. But we go back up to the front then. It hasn't started raining again, so the gamble didn't pay off for intermediates, but you know, sometimes these gambles don't pay off, sometimes they do, and it's a stroke of genius, but this time it just wasn't to be. The Surfer now comes through Spoon curve for the last time this season. He's now going to make his way down the back straight and thunder down to the 130R in that Citroen. Sponsored by Texaco. Let's see who else, what charity is racing for. It's Texaco and the SADS Foundation. Like I said, if you have any spare change, spare money laying around, please donate to these charities. It will help us a lot in raising awareness and money for these wonderful charities that we are being sponsored by this season. But across the line, Surfer's going to take victory. in the Citroen. Very well done, Surfer. Scott is going to come on in second. Great result for him. Oh, he gets half a second penalty. He's probably going to have enough distance to Busby Boy in second. But last podium spot, Busby Boy is going to claim that third position, followed by Gary in fourth. Great position, result for him as well. Bogger has got past James. He's going to come on to finish in fifth. Oh, it's close between the two, fifth and sixth. Bogger and James. Shortsky going to come on to finish in seventh, followed by JMS in eighth, and then we're going to have Scotty Boy and Dimpy. Unfortunately, the gamble for Shortsky, the Scotty Boy and Dimpy didn't pay off, switching on to the intermediates. But they're going to finish in ninth and 10th as they come across the line to finish out the race. So that has been the round 4 race 2 at Suzuka. If you did enjoy the commentary this week, please leave a like, maybe comment and leave a share. It does help me out. So until next time, City.